Hi there, watercolor kids, and welcome to episode 2 of Paint and Play, where we're going to be creative and have fun with watercolor. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to gather all of our supplies, get in the right mindset, do our breathing exercise, learn something new about watercolor, and then we're going to paint this happy birthday card together. Remember, if you have any questions, you can pause the video, you can rewind if you need to, or you can ask an adult to help you ask a question in the comments. Let's gather our supplies. You have your brushes, your watercolor paints, some watercolor paper. You also need some paper towel and a jar of water. And if you want to draw or take any notes, make sure you have a pencil and an eraser. Now that we have gathered our supplies, let's get in the right mindset by repeating our mindset mottos. Here's the first one. Repeat after me. We are all creative. And here's the second motto. We will be kind to ourselves and others. That's right. And if you need to remember why these are important, go back to episode 1 and you'll hear the explanation why. Let's keep going with our breathing exercise. So get into a comfortable position. You can place your palms facing up on your lap or on the table. We're going to breathe in through our noses for 4 seconds and out through our mouths for 6 seconds. I'm going to turn on some relaxing music and you can breathe on your own. You can close your eyes or open your eyes, up to you. Here we go. Great job. I hope you're feeling relaxed and ready to paint. Now remember, in each episode of Paint and Play, we're going to learn a painting technique and then create a project together. So today's painting technique is called value. Can you say that? Value. So value describes how dark or how light a color is. For example, when you see this range of black and gray colors, you can see that at number 1, it is very dark. And then as you go towards number 9, we've got a very light color. It's almost white. Now you can show this same range of values with different colors. You can do red, purple, green. So when you paint something, one way to make it look really cool is to show lots of values. If you see this leaf painting here, it's got lots of different values. Can you see a light value? Do you see some dark values? What about some medium values? Yes, that's right. But then let's look at this leaf painting. Do you see any light values? What about dark values? Or do they all seem to be kind of one medium value? Right. So now when we look at these two together, which one looks more interesting? The one with lots of different values or just one value? I'll give you a moment to think. Can you point to the one that you think is more interesting to look at? I agree. I think the one that has lots of different values is more interesting to look at. So we're going to practice how to show light values and dark values using watercolor. And then we'll use that technique to paint our birthday card. Do you notice that I have a dark value, then light, then dark, then light, then dark? So we're going to use what we know about values, practice it, and then make our card together. So here we go. I'm going to be using my flat brush. And if your brush is feeling a little bit stiff, just wet it a little bit and then blot. I'm going to use a black marker to take notes so you can see what we're working on. So remember, today we're learning about value. And we're going to use one color to show a dark value and show lots of medium values and then a light value. So let's get our brush ready. You can choose any darker color for this part. I'm going to use a dark purple color. Make sure that your brush is not too watery, okay? So make sure to blot your brush and then really work your brush in there. You need to wake up your paint. So say wake up as you use water to wake it up. So now take that paint color and then paint a swatch. Remember how we painted swatches in episode 1? So go ahead and do that. And then to show a lighter color, we need to remove a little bit of the paint that's on our brush and then wash it out a little bit and then blot a little bit. So let's try that, okay? Wash it out a little bit, blot a little bit, and then paint another swatch. Wow, and it should be a lighter color. Are you seeing that? Let's try that again. Wash, blot, paint. And then wash it out some more, blot, paint. And keep going until you get a really light color. And then when you're all done, wash out your brush and then blot it so that it's thirsty again. If you want to try this exercise again, that's okay. Try a different color. Maybe you want to try a dark green or a dark blue. Try this exercise until you can show that range of value. So you have a dark color all the way to a light color. So through this exercise, we just learned that all you need to do is change how much paint and water you have on your brush, right? The more paint we have on our brush, the darker the value. The more water we have and less paint, the lighter the value. So now let's practice painting a dark value and then suddenly go to light and then suddenly go to dark and then suddenly go to light. So we're going to practice going back and forth like a seesaw, okay? So let's start with your thirsty brush. It's just a little wet, right? Okay, notice how dark my purple is. And then from there, wash out your brush almost like you're washing it out completely and then blot it. And then let's do our light value. So cool. Now this might take a little bit of practice. That's okay, all right? So now let's go back to a dark value. So I'm going to take that same brush with a little bit of water on it, go back into the palette and just pick the paint right up. Wash it out again for a light value, go back to the paint for a dark value. All right, so in the end, you should see a dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. Try to get comfortable washing out your brush, picking up paint, and then understanding that you're making a darker color or a lighter color by adjusting how much water you have on your brush, okay? Let's try this again. Maybe we won't go back and forth like a seesaw. Maybe I'll do dark first and then dark again. Maybe go back to light and back to dark and then end with light. So have fun with this process and challenge yourself. So I'm starting out with a thirsty brush again with a little bit of water. Wake up my paint. Go back into the palette for the dark value and then wash it out again for the light. I think you got the hang of it. So if you feel comfortable going back and forth with the dark value and light value, let's wash out our brush and paint our birthday card. Here we go. All right, watercolor friends. So for this birthday card, I painted my birthday cake kind of in the middle and towards the bottom. And my sheet of paper is at about 5 inches and 7 inches, about. It's a little bit bigger than that. And then I wrote happy birthday at the bottom. So what I want you to do is choose 2 colors, okay? One color will be a little bit brownish, maybe like yellow orange-ish, and that's gonna be our cake color. And then I want you to choose one color that's gonna go in the middle, that's gonna be like the flavor of your cake. So I chose a red color for strawberry. If you want to do blue for blueberry or yellow for lemon, or if you just like a different color like green, that's okay too. So choose 2 colors, something that's a little bit of a light brownish color, and then a filling color in the middle for your flavor. And how we're gonna paint this is we're gonna start at the bottom and we're gonna start with a dark value of that brown color. And then we're gonna go light, wash out our brush a little bit, remember how we practiced? And then paint a light brown color right here. And then we're gonna do a dark value of our flavor color, and then do a light value of the brown, and then end with a dark brown. Does that make sense? So if you still need to practice the light, dark values, that's okay. Keep practicing. Practice will help you feel more confident. And then when you feel more confident with this, then go on to the birthday card. Okay, so I'm starting out with that dark brown color, and I used a little bit of water to wake it up. And I'm just gonna do one long stroke with my flat brush. Look how dark that value is. I'm gonna wash out my brush just a little bit and then paint the light value. And that's my second layer. My third and middle layer is gonna be the flavor. So I'm gonna choose that bright red color for a strawberry flavor. And again, if you want a dark value, you want less water and more paint. Oh, so cool. Now, as you put these colors right next to each other, you might notice a little bit of paint bleeding, right? Maybe some of the paint bleeds into the other color. If that happens, that's okay. But if it's happening too much, you can use your paper towel and soak it up, or you can just let the watercolor do its thing. So now I'm gonna do the fourth layer, and that's gonna be a light brown. So I'm gonna wash out my brush because I don't want the red on my brush. And I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of paint with a lot of water on my brush and then do that layer, right? See how light that is? Then I'm gonna wash out my brush a little bit and then blot more and then pick up the brown paint again. And look how dark that is. Oh, so cool. All right, if you want to add a little candle and a little flame for the birthday candle, you can. I'm going to use a smaller brush this time. I'm going to use my small yellow round brush. And I chose a bright blue for the candle. And I'm going to use a yellow orange color for the flame. Very cool. So to finish this card, I'm going to write happy birthday. And you can write the person's name on the card if you want to. And there you have it. Great job. And thank you for joining me in today's episode of Paint and Play, as we painted this birthday card together and learned about value. Next time, we will learn about layering and paint mountains. I'll see you then. Happy painting. Bye.